Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Liam Payne, the former One Direction star, has died at the age of 31 in Argentina after falling from the 3rd floor of a hotel in Buenos Aires. In a statement, police said they discovered Payne's body after an emergency crew responded to a call in the upscale neighbourhood of Palmero on Wednesday. Officers at the scene were initially responding to reports of an aggressive man who may have been under the effects of drugs and alcohol. Fans of the singer held an overnight vigil outside the hotel in Buenos Aires where he was found dead.
She's a massive icon, so to have someone support like that for us, we just feel like we're just some young lads getting...
Payne had risen to global fame as part of the much-loved boy band created on the X Factor TV show in 2010, along with Harry Styles, Louis Tomlinson, Niall Horan and Zayn Malik. The US says it has carried out precision strikes against 5 weapons storage locations in areas of Yemen controlled by the Houthi movement.
We've launched...
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said B-2 Spirit stealth bombers were part of the operation that targeted hardened underground facilities housing missiles and other munitions that the Iran-backed group had used to attack civilian and military ships. He added the strikes demonstrated the ability of the US to hit facilities that adversaries sought to keep out of reach. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has presented his so-called victory plan to the European Union and NATO, pitching for a NATO membership invitation and a major increase in military support for Kyiv's campaign against Russia's invasion. President Zelensky and EU leaders first gathered for a group photo during the summit in Brussels. His plan contains requests the Ukraine's allies have so far declined to grant, such as a call for invitation to join the NATO military alliance and permission to use Western weapons deep inside Russia.
You can help make this a reality.
The plan, he says, could end the war no later than next year. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump has stood by debunked claims that immigrants in Ohio were eating pets, telling Latino voters during a town hall meeting that he was just saying what was reported.
That's been in the newspapers and reported pretty broadly.
Mr. Trump in recent weeks has amplified a false claim that has gone viral that Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, were stealing residents' pets or taking wildlife from parks for food. There have been no credible reports of Haitians eating pets, and officials in Ohio, including Republicans, have repeatedly said the story is untrue. Meanwhile, the Democratic Vice President Kamala Harris has been grilled in a TV interview on the Biden administration's efforts to tackle a surge in illegal immigration at the southern border.
That's the early days. So do you owe them an apology is what I'm saying.
I will tell you that I am so sorry for her loss.
In a combative interview with Fox News host Brett Baier, Harris was asked to defend the administration's early decision to reverse some of Republican rival Donald Trump's restrictive policies and to respond to a mother who testified in Congress about the loss of her child at the hands of an illegal immigrant. The interview was part of a direct appeal by Harris to Republican voters in this year's US presidential election. And Sydney beaches, including the iconic Bondi Beach, have been closed to bathers after hundreds of black balls suspected to be toxic washed up on the city's shores. Waverley Council said it had closed Bondi, Bronte and Tamarama beaches as a precaution, while neighbouring Randwick Council has closed an additional 4 beaches. Clean-up crews were seen on the closed beaches collecting the debris, dressed in orange protective gear. Preliminary testing suggests the mystery items were tar balls made up of lumps of oil and debris.
A couple of days now where we identified floating debris coming in, thousands of small, approximately golf size, black balls floating into Coogee. What we've received is it involves some form of hydrocarbon, but there'll be more to say from the New South Wales EPA as it relates to that. What I will say is that we'll be working very hard to have this situation resolved as quickly as possible and to have our beaches cleaned. It's a beautiful, lovely spring day, and obviously we want to get back as soon as possible onto the sand and in the water.
And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.